Episode 1. Mr. DeMarco. The results are in. Miss Healy's gynecological examination shows that she is still a virgin and meets all the standards. She's clean. The bodyguard respectfully informed the man on the other end of the phone at the entrance of the hospital's examination room. River Healy lowered her head and stood in the crowded corridor, trying to ignore the strange gazes of passersby. She was weighed down by the burden of her sick mother and father's gambling debts. Hence, she had resorted to using her body as a bargaining chip and agreed to get into bed with Noah DeMarco. A moment later, Noah's deep and magnetic voice came through the phone. Send her to Villa Rosa. Back at Villa Rosa, in the dim light, River huddled nervously under the blanket. The man standing by the bed looked incomparably handsome as he stared down at her with his stone, cold eyes. River knew that he was Noah DeMarco, a man so influential in Novamere City, one could even call him the king. As Noah lifted the silk blanket that covered her body, River's naked form was revealed and reflected in his dark eyes. He leaned in for a fiery hot kiss and plunged deep into her. A sudden jolt of pain shot through her body, prompting a stifled moan to escape her lips. As he bit her lips, he whispered into her ear, "Don't cry. You did this willingly. Remember, not everyone is qualified to get into my bed." River abruptly awakened, and Noah's last words before she blacked out still echoed in her ears. Slowly turning her head, she found Noah sleeping next to her, and for a moment, she was lost in a daze. Time flew past, and in the blink of an eye, she had known Noah for 3 years, working as his private secretary and becoming his lover. Unexpectedly, she dreamed of the first time they met last night. River rubbed her throbbing head and was about to sit up when Noah's phone rang. Noah abruptly woke up and grabbed the phone. "Speak," he answered, pressing it to his ear. Even so, River could still hear the voice coming from the other end. "Mr. DeMarco, I have verified it. The woman you are searching for is not her." In an instant, Noah's eyes darkened even more. River looked at his gloomy expression and felt a twinge of sadness. After being Noah's lover for 3 years, she knew that he had been searching for a girl who had once saved his life when he was young. Although her whereabouts were unknown, Noah still missed her to this day. Feeling River's gaze, Noah turned to her and growled, "Get out." River remained silent and rose from the bed, moving like a lifeless doll. She picked up her clothes from the floor and walked barefoot to the guest room. River entered the bathroom and turned on the shower, letting the water wash over her face. The man's callous behavior made her feel sad, but she knew that she had no right to feel that way. She was only able to stay by his side because of a red mole on her right earlobe, similar to the one on the long-lost girl Noah had been searching for. In Noah's eyes, she was just a substitute for his unrequited love and a toy that could be easily dismissed with money. Just as River emerged from the shower, Noah came out of the bedroom, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit. He looked regal and detached, his handsome features making it hard for anyone to look away. As they met, River said her usual words, "I'll make breakfast." Noah cast a cold glance her way before turning and walking down the stairs. Just as River was bringing out the coffee and breakfast, Noah's assistant, Reuben Murphy, arrived with a black medicine bag. He said to River, "Miss Healy, here's your medicine." River paused for a moment, placed the food on the table, and replied calmly, "Got it." She took out the white pill and swallowed it without any expression. After watching River take the medicine, Reuben left the villa and waited outside. River then approached Noah, who was sitting indifferently on the sofa, and informed him that breakfast was ready. Noah put down his newspaper and sat at the dining table, sipping his coffee and glancing lazily at River. "You chose to stay with me. Do you remember me telling you back then that you need to know your place and control your emotions?" "They're showing," he remarked. No matter how good River was at hiding her emotions, she was not able to completely hide them in Noah's presence. River sat down opposite him and picked up her coffee, pretending as if nothing was wrong. "You worry too much, Mr. DeMarco. I was just thinking about today's schedule and got a little distracted." So, what if he found out? She would simply come up with an excuse to hide them. She refused to admit it and let him strip away the last shreds of her pride. Noah remained silent, while an air of solemnity settled over the dining table, casting a weighty ambience that permeated the room. At 8 o'clock, Reuben Murphy drove them to Noah's company building, which stood proudly at the center of the city, exuding an aura that matched its owner's reputation as a top businessman in Novamere City. As River was about to get out of the car, Noah abruptly tossed a document her way. "There's a cocktail party tonight, attended on my behalf. If you can get Henry Devereaux to sign the contract, you'll receive a $70,000 commission," he instructed. River was stunned by the offer. She stared at the contract in her hand in shock, as if it were a ticking time bomb. She knew this was a really tough job. Henry Devereaux, the CEO of Novamere City RT Foreign Enterprise, was bisexual and infamous for his abusive sexual predatory behavior toward both men and women. Anyone who fell prey to him would never escape unscathed. Going alone to meet him would be like walking into a lion's den. However, River was tempted by the offer. The $70,000 commission would be enough to settle her mother's medical bills and her father's debts. Noah's cold and indifferent gaze bore down on her. "If you're not willing, you can say no." After a moment of silence, River tightened her grip on the contract. "I'll do it." As soon as she finished speaking, Noah's lips curled into a sneer. Although he didn't say anything, River could feel the disdain in his eyes. Indeed, in Noah's eyes, River was a woman who valued money above all else. In the evening, River arrived at the Indigo Hotel with the contract, dressed in a conservative yet elegant outfit. During the half-hour journey, she mentally prepared herself for the task ahead. However, the moment she stepped into the hotel elevator, panic set in. This was because Henry had chosen to meet her in the presidential suite and not the private room downstairs, as they had discussed earlier. River knew exactly what this meant. Henry desired her company for the entire night. Soon, the door opened. Henry appeared in the doorway, wearing a loose bathrobe. His piercing green eyes locked onto Casey with a predatory gaze. River's heart skipped a beat, but she forced a smile for the sake of the $70,000 commission. "Monsieur Devereaux, sorry to disturb you," she said, stepping into the presidential suite. Henry shrugged and flashed her a smile. "Miss Healy, I've been waiting for you." River's heart was racing, but she maintained her composure and placed the prepared contract on the coffee table. She subtly scanned the presidential suite from the corner of her eye, taking note of every detail. Once Henry took a seat on the sofa, River retracted her gaze and sat down as well, keeping a slight distance from him. Henry handed her a glass of wine, and River clinked her glass against his. "Thank you for your hospitality, Monsieur Devereaux." Henry's eyes lit up. "Miss Healy, you're very smart and you're not shy. I like it." River forced a smile, aware of the need to impress Henry for the contract. With a slight tilt of her head, she downed the red wine in her hand. Yet, Henry's face expressed a hint of pity. "Impressive, but you wouldn't expect one glass to seal the deal now, would you?"
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.